All right. Can you hear me? Oh, there's Stevie.
I hear Rafa.
Now we just need to see if we hear an Alex. Or if he hears us, I should say.
I think I hear his microphone.
I do, yeah, as well. I think so. I got the end of the line stuck in my head.
It's a great song.
Yeah, man. I think so.
It's all right. Heading to the end of the line.
All right. Hello. Test.
Oh,
I can hear you.
All right. We finally here. We made it. We're a little late, but we here, guys. We here. You know what? What better way to end the Let's Get It show than how we started on a grind, on an odyssey, on people interrupting us back in the day, not letting us do our show, jumping through flaming hoops like Evil Knievel, man. But you know what? The show must go on, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it, yeah.
what an entrance. What an entrance.
But yeah, so let's get things started off here, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, tuning in. This is it. This is the live. This is the last one. This is the one that we're gonna end with a bang. And we so far we started off with a bang, but not the bang that I wanted. But guys, I want to talk to you guys. See how you guys are doing, man. I know we have Big Daddy in the studio.
Is that
Or we
Kramer?
used to, anyway.
Huh?
Or we
Is that
used
Mark
to,
Kramer?
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's Kramer. It's Kramer, man. It's Big Daddy.
Heck yeah. CJ was here
But yeah,
too.
so
I think
CJ was here.
this is
Yeah,
their
man. So how you
roommate.
guys been? How are you guys, bro?
Man, doing all
Rafa,
right.
please
Same old, same old.
explain your predicament that you explained to me.
Oh, which one? I have many.
With your hair, first of all.
Oh, you want to hear this again? All right.
Yes.
Well,
Alex hasn't heard it, so.
that's
Now I'm
true. Alex
curious,
didn't
man.
hear it.
Now I'm
Yeah.
curious,
No,
man.
it's just hair gets too long, man. And you ever like? Well, you've had really long hair before.
Yeah.
We might have different hair types, but I don't know. Whenever I like wash mine, which I do obviously very regularly, and condition it, it gets so fluffy that it starts to like get like caught in my eyes at this point because it's that long that it reaches like past my eyes. And obviously, this is not good for when I'm trying to do other things. So I've started to use an old sleeping mask as a headband because I have nothing else. So it's a real predicament right now with the long hair situation.
Yo, one of
But
you
I'm
guys
not.
gotta stop rubbing the phone on your bodies, man. I can hear like the muffling.
Oh, that might be Steven.
Yeah. But dude, man, you gotta get a bandana. You gotta get a bandana, and you gotta get headbands. If you want to wear headbands, you gotta make it stylish, man. You gotta look like one of those football players with the headbands and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah, most of the time I just kind of like just comb it back. I look like I don't know, like Pat Riley, or not like you did in that picture. But I just comb it back and it kind of stays away. I'm definitely not gonna go out and protest about wanting to get a haircut. I'll tell you that much.
I think
Oof.
you'll live. I think you'll survive.
I'll survive. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, this is no big fucking deal.
Nah, man. Hey, you know what, man? It's flow season. Let it grow, man. I've done it. I've done it many times. Let the hair grow out, man. See how far you can take it.
Yeah, true. I mean, I feel like that's like two items on everyone's bucket list, two like minor ones. One is just like to grow their hair long, and the other one is like to shave their head just to kind of see what it looks like. But one of them is definitely more risky than the other one.
Hmm.
I would
Well,
not shave my head to see what it looks like. I know how ugly that is.
I have
Hey,
never.
some people
I've
can
never
rock it.
done it. I've only had a buzz cut twice my whole life, and that's because I cut my own hair twice and I fucked it up. So then, you know what? How do you fix that? You cut it all off. Get it all off. But I will never ever rock a buzz cut or like a shaved head like on my own. I just can't, man. No one's used to that. Everyone likes Flo Alex better, man. That's how it works.
The only time that maybe I could have had my head shaven was when I got lice in middle school. But my mom took the hardest road, and we did the shampoo stuff.
Damn. Oh, hey,
Meanwhile-
Sleazy Rafa is on. He's got your name, Rafa. Oh, damn. But I don't think you're the sleazy type. And
No,
that's Stevie B's
Exactly.
boy, man. What's going on, guys?
Oh, what's up?
All right,
Hey.
let's continue with the show and what we got prepared. So, this is the last show, so I don't have to plug anything. So you know what? My job is I'm done for today. Take it away, guys. I'm done. I'm done talking today. No, but guys, you know what? This is a show. This show for today is about reflection, about thinking about the good times we had on this show. So for this episode's edition of Rafa's Corner, we're gonna go down memory lane a bit. We're gonna go and talk about our favorite episodes, guests, topics, things like that. So let's start it off here, man. Let's start off with the listeners. Tell us. Well, we give our favorite moments. Let's ask the listeners what were their favorite moments, and then we can bounce ideas back and forth from each other. So let's start it off with you, Stevie B. What was your or at least one of your favorite memories on the show?
Jeez. I think number one, very like absolute number one. I want to say maybe the first time we did the like skits that we wrote. That one I think was probably one of the funniest things that we did.
I hear you.
Personally, I thought that was funny.
I think,
and the fact that
I think with those skits, yeah.
I was gonna say the fact that we just all had to write one, and we all probably did about the same amount of time writing it, and then what we got out of it, which was funny. And then the second time we did it, I feel like it was a little more polished, but I will say
I think
it was
I deserve
fun.
an Oscar, man.
Hey, you might.
That Russian
spoken
accent,
word.
come on.
Yeah, I believe it.
How about you, Rafa? What's one of your favorite memories on the show?
Man, 51 episodes creates a lot of memories, man.
Yeah,
but
man.
I frankly like the early episodes. Not that they were the best, but I'm specifically just our reaction to getting interrupted all the time. I think like has aged really well because it's still pretty funny to hear us get frustrated. And then also whenever anybody would walk past the hallway, the way that all of us would like turn our heads while we were talking and being like, please don't fucking come in here, please don't fucking come in here, that they'd leave. And then if I can be a little selfish and narcissistic, I liked explaining what Poseidon's Kiss was to you guys.
Oh my gosh, man. That was like when you told me what a Poseidon Kiss was, and you know what? I'm not gonna even say it. Rafa, for the people tuning in, what is Poseidon's Kiss, man?
Poseidon's Kiss, for those who did not watch that particular episode, is let's just say when you're in the bathroom and you're taking for the scientific term a number 2, and it falls with such ferocity that it splashes and water hits where. That is Poseidon's Kiss coming from inside of the toilet bowl. And pro tip, a good way to stop it is to put a little bit of toilet paper on the water, and then you won't
Not
get
too
Poseidon's
much.
Kiss.
You're gonna clog it, man.
Yeah, don't clog it. This is not something you could do in old timey kind of toilets that didn't. I don't remember the word in English, but I hated going to my mom's side of the family sometimes because like they didn't have toilets where you could flush toilet paper. They had to throw the toilet paper in the trash, and so it smelled like shit all the time. Anyway, this is a tangent. Let's move on.
Yeah, I think you went too far on that one.
I went too far, but it's okay.
We got a very loyal listener tuning in now, CJ. CJ, we're talking about favorite memories on the show. We want to ask the fans as well what were their favorite memories on the show. So CJ, whenever you got a chance, let us know. But you know what? While he's typing away and letting us know what's up, I'm going to tell you one of my favorite memories on one of the episodes we did. And like Rafa said, 51 episodes, man. Over about a year and a half now doing this is a lot to choose from. But I would say this is not really it's part of the show, but one of my favorite memories is when we were in Gainesville and we were doing obviously a recording in the studio. My favorite memory is talking crap about the girls who would come by our studio to try to kick us out. So in the middle of our recordings, you can hear just talking shit. It's just like we can be literally talking about something so serious, and then just take a massive left turn and be like, "Man, those sons of bitches, man! Here they are again," and it's all in the recording. I just found it so humorous that we would be like we didn't care that. Because we knew they probably wouldn't listen anyways. So who gives a damn?
No,
Yeah, I did censor something at one point when somebody went on.
Oh yes, because
a rant.
I went on a rant. I was gonna get to that. I went on a rant about these girls, and I called out the show that they were gonna record after us, and Steven bleeped it out, just in case the school, the University of Florida, ever heard that. He said, "Well, we don't know what they're talking about because they bleeped out the name of the show."
That's right.
So that was a good call by Stevie B. But let's get into guests. Let's talk about guests on the show. We had tons of guests, on the show in the last 51 episodes. So I'm not gonna say who's my favorite guest because I can't really choose. We've had everyone's been awesome who's gone on the show, but I want to pinpoint. Oh, plot twist. Marina says she was the favorite guest. Yeah, well, Marina, you have a point there. I did you got me there. I didn't want to say you specifically, but the cat's out of the bag now. My bad. But what I was trying to get at is that one of my favorite moments with a guest was when my cousin Nicky called the show. Before he guested on, he called the show while we were in Gainesville, and he didn't know we were doing the podcast, but I still answered the phone. And then he's like, "Oh, dude, Nicky, we're recording the show right now, so you're joining us." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So all I want to say is the Marlins fucking suck. And then he just hung up. And I was
That's
like,
a good one.
And that goes down as the shortest also guest appearance on the Let's Get It show. Yeah, you're right, CJ. It's classic Nicky. I agree with him though. Marlins suck. What you gonna do?
They got a chance this year.
They got a chance, 60 games. We're gonna get into that though, Stevie B. We're gonna get into that later. I got a lot to talk about that 60-game season coming up in Major League Baseball. But yeah,
Man.
How about you guys? How about you, Rafa? How about you, Stevie B? How about
Favorite?
one of not favorite, the favorite? Because like I said, Marina took that place already. She already got it. So
She
we got to
claimed it,
talk. She claimed it. So we got to talk about other guests. What about other moments?
Bro.
I think I got a feeling about which guests you guys will say.
I'll go first. I got two. Really, it's 1.5 because I think George and his feeder fish comment. We were talking about what superheroes we would want, and he fucking picked to be able to talk to fish, and the rest of us were going with like teleportation and super speed, and that was just classic George. I feel like it was a great episode, and then. The 0.5 is for, and I forget his name, Steven, your friend who guested on the show, and then he didn't. Bo? No, it wasn't Bo. It was
the veteran. Yeah.
Oh, Luke Elgin. Yeah, dude. I was gonna say we do have a long lost episode. We did have an incredible episode with my boy Luke.
That's gonna be never like. Well, technically we cannot hear what Steven's friend said because he wasn't recording. He wasn't recording anything.
Have we told this story? I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
We recorded a whole ass episode, and at the end, he was like, "Wait, you never told me to record, or that I had to record." So that was
because he thought Skype was already recording like his audio and everything and stuff, and well,
SMH, man.
Low key though, just so now since we're wrapping things up on the show and everything. Like, I'm kind of glad we didn't air that. I'm really glad.
Me too, man. Some weird shit was said on that one.
Yeah, there were some stories that CB's friend got into that I will not share for the sake of, how secluded we're going to keep that show away from everybody. And, it was just a funny episode and just interesting and, just for lack of a better word,
I had a
but also,
time. I knew what I was getting into, though.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, can you hear him, Steven?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think I lost Alex. Oh,
okay.
I'm hearing you guys.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But I want to talk about a bit. I want to talk about a bit with CJ.
Oh.
CJ was always constantly right in my case about when it was time to get on the show. And CJ, you barely made the cut. Episode 51 was your time to shine, man.
He made it though.
He made the cut, man, and he was listening since day one, and finally he made it. He made it, man. Hey, you're on the roster. You're on the roster, my man. You did it.
That's right.
That's what counts. That's what counts. Yo, Alex, what's up, man? What's up, CJ? Why are you putting all caps? Are you yelling at me? Is that how you're gonna be talking to me, man?
I did it.
Oh, that's a Rocky reference. A Rocky reference. I love it. Thank you, CJ. But yeah, CJ. Okay, so like the spotlight's on you now. What did you like? What did you like about the show from your episode being on, or for something you heard? Let us know, man. Like what? Like other than showing you the tunnels, what do you want to know, man? Like what did you want? Like, oh God, no more Stallone references. We're done with that.
Oh, come on. Oh, I did a if he dies, he dies today to my parents.
Yeah. If he dies, he dies, man. Rafa texted me a good point. Let's talk about where it all began. But for our listeners not knowing, we did not start the Let's Get It show in a professional studio like we did afterwards in Gainesville. Episode 0, as we like to call it,
man.
took place in the cave. And the cave is what we call Stevie B's apartment in Gainesville. It was the cave, all white walls, barely any sunlight going in. You know, it was just it. And that was the groundwork, and that was the foundation of this beautiful show, man. And I didn't even have a mic at the time. I didn't own a mic, so I had to I think borrow one or share with one of you guys. And then we used folders as dividers so we can keep the sound in as close as possible around our mics. And as I like to call it, it was Rachetera Studios, my friends. But
it was.
But I like to give a quick shout out to my boy, Mr. Harder from UF. If it wasn't for him and showing us a studio in Gainesville, none of this could have happened, man. If you think about it. If you think about it, man. Because we always knew the studios were there. We just didn't know we could use it.
I don't know. I remember that first day we went on a tour. They said we could use it, and I was like, oh, we'll see.
I never seen anyone use it, except for that show that I cannot mention because then Steven's going to bleep me out again.
No, man, I mean, I can't do it to you live.
And doing this podcast with you guys, and then obviously my friends and your friends hearing the show, and finding out that we started a podcast. I've had about a handful of friends contact me throughout this whole time, talking about starting their own podcast. So, for everyone whoever's listening is interested in starting one or guest starring one or something like that, what tips would you want to give to our listeners on starting a podcast and being part of one?
Oh, it's a lot more work than you think.
Yeah, that's exactly what I tell people immediately.
It's tough to be, I guess, one, entertaining, also have something new all the time. I mean, I did most of the audio editing, and that alone probably took an hour and a half, 2 hours at a time, if not a little bit more every once in a while. But, I mean, I just would say I think number one thing is it takes a lot more work to get anything that's anywhere resemblance to a real podcast. So,
and how about you, Rafa? How about you, Rafa?
In the same vein as Steven, I feel like if you're going to start a podcast, you should, if you're serious about it, I think the way we did it was we kind of and this is something I both liked and disliked in the end, we kind of half-assed it a little bit, where we were kind of evolving as we started. So we released the first episode or two in Podbean, and then we configured the Apple Podcast. We didn't get Spotify until 20-something episodes in. We made a Facebook page 20-something episodes in. I made the Facebook page, I think, in the middle of a show. or Spotify in the middle of a show. So, if you're going to start a podcast, you should, if you're going to do social media, you should have your social media ready. You should have your, you should be connected to Apple Podcasts and anywhere that they release podcasts and everything from the get-go, so that you're not playing, catch up, and you can make an impact quick. Pro tips.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And I guess...
What about you, Alex?
What I will do, or I guess recommend for anyone starting a podcast is surround yourself with good people, man. Surround yourself with people that have the same ideologies as you and you're and the same plan. And I think that's what we had when we first started out. And I think that's why it helped us last almost 2 years, a year and a half. Is just we're on the same page. We're just we're on this grind together. Oh
Yeah.
damn!
yeah.
I heard you're the worst, Steven. You hear that?
Mhm.
You're the worst. Yeah. Nah. I beg to differ on that. I beg to differ, Stevie B, with those sapphire eyes. Man, how can you say no to a man like that?
I'm just saying. I appreciate it.
Oh damn! We have another guest on the show. My good friend Gabby Gonzalez, aka the Mountain Man. This is for finally, and he. Speaking of making the freaking cut, you finally listened to a damn show, Gabby. Welcome, Mountain Man. And if you're listening with your fiance, what's up, Bree? What's up, Brianna? That's my wonderful hairstylist. I keep that good flow thanks to her, man. But yeah, and also just to finish off, what was I saying about a podcast and tips and whatnot?
Tips and tricks, yeah.
Tips and tricks, man. Is just have fun with it and don't stress it, man. Don't stress it and just do and talk about and I think podcast gives you the liberty and the voice to do whatever the hell you want to do. So and don't be afraid of people not listening because this is a form of just of art. If you think about it, this is your way. You are creating something, and if whoever's gonna like it is gonna listen to it. Plain and simple, man.
I love it.
I like it. I think
Yeah, man.
I will say the remote podcasting is
It's harder, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit tougher
Yeah.
because when you're used to doing it in a studio, there's a lot more things I guess you can do. The timing's a little bit better, obviously. But
Okay, what's something that you won't miss from the show?
oh, definitely editing it, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Man.
it sucks so much having to listen to the same thing over and over again. Like
Mhm.
I did it because I wanted to do it, but I will say sometimes it was a little irritating. But a lot of the times I would be like, "Dang, we sound like some learned human beings," and that made me proud.
Those are the moments that made it worth it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like,
How
man,
about-
that was a good take,
Yeah. What
Exactly.
was
I was like, "Oh, that was good."
what about you, Rafa, baby? What's something you won't miss from the show?
Something I won't miss from the show. I wrote this question. I didn't even think about. Oh, you know what? And this is really noticeable. Sometimes during our sports section, I'd be quiet for a long time because I didn't watch as many sports as you guys. So I think it was still fun to listen to you guys, but occasionally I'd be quiet for so long because I did not know anything about like baseball, So I don't think I will miss that. CJ says all my questions, of course.
Yeah, I can't stand his questions, man. Nah, I'm kidding, man. They were great. We appreciate that type of participation on the show as well, my man. Thank you.
It was
Thank
pretty
you.
good.
Something
liked
that I
it.
won't miss from the show, man, is those damn girls, man. What the hell? No, I'm kidding. Like, well, technically, yeah, those people interrupting us when we were in games, well, yeah, they can go fly a kite. But something that I won't miss from the. Okay, this is a little more personal, but something that I won't miss from the show is when we started doing the show remotely, and we had a streak of doing it on Sundays. Some of those Sundays I was a bit hungover, and then and we did it in the morning. Those shows Sunday morning, man, and that I won't miss, man. Waking up and just like, oh, all right, let's like an old ass, like, all right, let's freaking do this. Let's go for it. That I won't miss. But honestly, man, we've had countless good ass times and memories, man. We can go on for hours and hours talking about it, man. So,
I'll tell you this, like, I
up?
never noticed that you were hungover, so I mean,
No, you did a pretty good job for being hungover. So
once I click record, once we start, you gotta go 100, man. You gotta go 100,
Oh, yeah.
and then once you click stop the recording, you run to the fridge for that Pedialyte. Or to the toilet, like whichever, like, because
No Poseidon's kiss there.
No, not Poseidon's kiss. It's more like coming out the other way.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Oh man.
let's get it.
Yeah.
And I forgot to give a shout out to John the Jet, man. He's joined the show, and now we have a few other listeners as well. Two dumb asses. I like the way you spelled asses. That's great. Welcome to the show. And yeah, Gabby, yeah, sometimes, well, Gabby, you crap the boozer. I know you do, man. What's up, two dumbasses? What's your real name? Because I don't want to keep saying two dumbasses.
Well, I enjoy it.
What is the show?
What's the show about? Oh, you come way too far to see now.
Well, what's the show about? Well, listen, my man, you're a little too late because this is our last dance. This is our last dance, man. So I think you didn't make the cut. That's it. He didn't make the cut. CJ and Kramer and Gabby, they made the cut. But I'm sorry, two dumbasses. Like, this is our last episode, man. This is episode 52. We've been doing this for a year and a half, man. That's it. That's it. I'm sorry.
This might be one of my favorite moments.
This is bullshit. Well,
yeah. Well, wait. Does Podbean blur out the curse words? Because that's we appreciate that.
Let me test it.
One more show. Oh, come on, man.
No, it doesn't. Wait, I just wrote fuck. Did it block my fuck or
no? No, it didn't. So thank you, two dumbasses, for blurring out your own curse words.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Oh. Well, where the fuck were we?
No, I want to find out that guy's name first. I'm not moving on until I find out his name or her name. I don't know who that is.
Oh no, it's a mystery.
Oh man.
Okay, so okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. I asked you guys what you won't miss, but like, what's the ultimate? The ultimate thing, like man, like the first thing you think about once it's all said and done, and you reflect on the Let's Get It show. What's the one thing that will pop up first in your mind? Be like, damn, I missed that. What's that one thing that pulls on the heartstrings?
I know what mine is.
Say it then.
I think the theme song. Retiring the theme song is gonna kill me.
Oh, a theme song.
That's too good.
The theme song of the show that I created.
The composer.
We did not deserve as good a theme song as we had.
Yeah, it was somewhat of a ripoff of Take On Me, but it's okay.
I don't care, man. It was.
We weren't making any money off of it. It's all good, man. But let's see, what am I gonna miss the most? I don't know. There were these just moments where the three of us would just fucking break laughing all at the same time. Those like. And I was about to say what John just said as the second answer. Whenever we all yelled, "Let's get it!" Where in the last 30 episodes, it was always out of sync, but in the first 20, it was always at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Two dumbasses. This is a farewell.
This is a farewell. This is a reflection, man. It's not a sob fest. Do you hear me crying? No. No.
Might be a little bit, but
I don't got time to cry, man. And what I will miss most, like the ultimate memory that I'll have of this show, is doing it with my friends.
Oh, all right, now I'm definitely crying.
No, I just wanted to be corny. I just wanted to be corny like that. Obviously, man. Obviously, that's gonna be what I miss, man. Let me get the vomit bag. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know why we get a vomit bag. I thought it was a sob fest. Now we're gonna cry and throw up. Damn, man. I don't know what's going on here. But what I'll miss the most, man, is that the studio vibe, man. Like walking into the studio and just seeing all the equipment and just like it just felt cool, man. It just brought me back to my days as doing my sports talk show at FIU, man. I just liked it.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing too. I think that was really cool at UF, and it kind of made it like worth the time.
Dude, yeah,
that we were there.
And what I missed the most is, and I remember I have the recording on my phone somewhere. It's just deep because I have a bunch of shit on my phone. But I have a recording of the live, the little plaque outside the studio where it says "You are live" or "live," whatever. It just flickering on when Rafa clicks the live button, man. And it's just a feeling that you get when you're in the studio, man. It's just like, I don't we're up to something here.
Man, that just reminded me. I loved actually getting to fucking use the board, dude. You know,
You were
like
the conductor. You were the conductor,
was.
man.
Yeah, for those who didn't know, we since we were in actual studio, we had this like mixing board and shit, and we could like mess with the levels and shit. And like the first few times we did it, it was always a clusterfuck of not knowing if we could hear each other. I still remember that time we tried to play music live on the show with like through YouTube, and we realized it would slow, or not slow, but it would deepen all of our voices. So that ruined the show. And then in another one, I was able to find a workaround where we could fucking like speed up or change the pitch, actually. So, I mean, just workarounds. But I'll tell you one thing, Steve, was it easier to edit when it was the studio thing because it was all on one track?
Yeah. And it was like, definitely because it sounded better too.
Yeah, but what could you do?
Yeah, that was the thing, is like the studio was built to do stuff like that very easily. I will say what we did, and it's the only way to do a podcast remotely, is just not built the same way. So you're just not going to get the same thing. But that was definitely a part of it. That was really fun. I did think that it was kind of interesting that they just had like that radio recording playing in that studio
all the time.
All times.
Every time we'd get there, it was fucking playing every time.
Just random stuff that would just be being read across whatever that was.
NPR, I was getting NPR vibes from that studio as well.
Definitely.
Well, they were certainly trying hard, but don't know if they got there.
All right, so enough of this memory lane talk. We're gonna get into one of our original classic segments. That's what we're doing. We're doing our original segments for our final episode. But while we're going to go into Café con Leche, please continue letting us know favorite memories, questions, something part of the show. Let us know. But until then, let's kick off with Stevie B's favorite segment. He loves the name. I know you guys do too. And when we're finished editing this, we're going to have that song playing for you guys one more time. We're going to do some Café con Leche. Stevie. All right? Let's get into the NBA and MLB return. And I love how the NBA is calling Disney the bubble. I just find it hilarious, like the way they're approaching it. And they're saying that they're playing in the ESPN Wild World of Sports, but I love how everyone's saying all the players are going to Disney World, as if they're going on vacation or something like that. I'm like, no, man. But the thing is, I want to talk to you guys, and I want to hear our listeners' perspective as well, if the NBA and MLB should even return. Because now with COVID cases continuing to rise, especially here in Florida, where the NBA is expected to return, I don't feel like it's a good idea, man. There's players on pretty much on every team in the NBA that have tested positive for COVID. And not recently, all this is coming out because all these players now are getting tested before they can enter the bubble. And a few players have been stepping down, like Trevor Ariza, which I talking to Rafa and Stevie B a couple of days ago was like, oh no, Trevor Ariza is not going to be able to. Trevor Ariza is not going to play in the NBA. No. But another player that spoke up and said that he will not be participating in the NBA return is Avery Bradley. And yeah, he's like another role player like Trevor Ariza, but he plays for a first place team, the Lakers. And he said that his son has respiratory issues, so I don't think it's a good idea for him to go to to return to the NBA. And I think he made the right decision, man. Family first, and that's how you're supposed to do it in a time like this. And it's funny as hell today that when Avery Bradley announced that he wasn't going to return, at Lakers Twitter erupted, and not for the better, like, oh, good, good job, Avery. You made the right decision. They were shitting on him.
What do you expect from Twitter, man?
Yeah, that's true. But it's like, man, you cannot escape the hate. You can't escape the hate. Said? Not an NBA season up. Yeah, man. Trevor Ariza is my dog, man. Trevor Ariza is my dog.
Yeah, it's not, John. I 100% agree. We have to have Avery Bradley and Trevor Ariza. If we don't have them, I'm not watching.
And then let's stick with the NBA, but let's get away from COVID talk a bit. I want to talk about, Vince Carter, the the OG, the epitome of what a grizzled veteran is supposed to be in the NBA, is retiring after 22 seasons. He is the last player from the 90s that played in the 90s that is officially gone, officially retired. So an end of an era, pretty much. And also, I don't think the Hawks made the playoffs, even with the new format. That's how much they sucked. So yeah, that's it. His season's over. But let's talk about Vince Carter for a bit. I'm not gonna talk about the Magic, Big Daddy Kramer. I'm not gonna talk about it because the Magic, they suck as well. Okay, the state of Florida belongs to the Miami Heat. Get that straight. You had two eras. I'm gonna go on a little rant now because he pissed me off. You had two eras with Shaq.
Oh man.
And then with Dwight Howard. Everything else in between, before and after that, is pure ass. Okay, moving on. So, moving on to the MLB, Major League Baseball. They have finally come to a resolution, the MLB owners and the players, on returning. But it got to the point that the commissioner of the MLB, it's not Bud Selig, Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred, he had to get himself into the commotion and all and say, you know what, this is the plan. Like it or not, this is it. He had to come in like the sheriff, man, and just take order, man, take names. And I'm kind of happy about it, but at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, part of me is kind of skeptical about it. They propose a 60-game season, so teams will have 40 games against teams in their division, and then they'll have 20 interleague games. So, for example, if for the Marlins, they play in the National League East, so they'll play 20 games against teams in the American League East, and then so on and so forth with the other divisions. Guys, talk to me. What do you guys think about the 60-game season rule?
I think it's going to be crazy take on baseball.
Yeah.
I would hope that they have like a bigger roster. Hopefully they like expand the rosters and have like, I don't know it's usually 40 man, something like that. They've had like something like 55 or even 60. That'd be really cool. But I don't know. They haven't said anything about that. But that
I was hoping because there was so many like proposals and stuff that never went through. But I was rooting for the 75-game one. I wanted just a little more games, man, a little more games. But the way they're compensating for the 60-game season is that they're allowing for the first couple of weeks 30 players on the roster, and then after a certain time, then they go to 28, and then they go down to 26. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's just gonna be hard to get used to it.
That's going to be tough on those guys, though. I think because they're going to be playing every single day. Like you're going to need a lot more players than that. I think because guys are going to get hurt.
What I think is going to happen is we're probably going to see a lot of teams use starters in relief as well. I think it's all hands on deck. I feel like at this point, but at the same time, you're running the risk of injury. Rapid season, man. It's a rapid season. But is anyone's chance except for the Marlins? Is anyone's chance now?
No, I think the Marlins got a good shot at it. Why not?
The best 60-game start the Marlins had ever in franchise history was in 1997. They went 35-25, and guess what happened in 97? They won it all.
They won it all, baby.
They won it all, baby. So you know what? We'll see what happens.
Look, it's easier to make the playoffs this year now, too. I think they have like a 10-team playoff, too. So there's always a chance, dude. I think it could happen. I don't know if it'll happen, but we'll see. I could see there being like a team that wasn't supposed to be any good having a big run. So yeah, in 60 games, anything can happen, baby. It's not like there's a big like. Usually in baseball, it takes like regression to the norm, if you would, because there's so many games. So all the best teams ultimately just filter to the top over such a long time, but it'll be completely different. I think the teams with the most camaraderie are going to do well because there's not going to be any fans or anything like that. So you got to have the team getting the hype and stuff. So that'll be entertaining because you'll get to see that. You'll get to see that side of baseball that you don't usually get to see because they tell them to behave, and now hopefully they'll let them do more like party and stuff, like in the dugout. Because that's
I haven't thought about that at all, though, Steven, the camaraderie aspect of it. We're playing a lot of games really fast and just real up close with each other all the time and stuff like that. So you got to have a good chemistry with your teammates, or else shit's gonna unravel. And
yet they still haven't talked about the fan situation though, about fanless, fans, social distancing if they have fans. Here's my proposal. I think they should adopt what the Korean baseball league did and put stuffed animals in the seats everywhere.
Hell yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
Everywhere. You see Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny just chilling behind home plate, doing some popcorn and Coke, man. I think it's a great idea. I think it's great. You know what? And then I think the Korean baseball league as well had like fake ambiance, like fan noise, which like reminding me of like a 2K game.
They do the same thing on the English Premier League games too. It's really weird.
That weird buzzing roar like in a soccer stadium.
Yeah, they have like the actual crowd noise, like recorded crowd noise.
Okay, now Gabby says, forget the stuffed animals. And that's kind of rude, man.
I think it would be cool.
Did you just text us 4 times?
Shit.
Is Alex gone?
No, I'm right here, man.
I don't know. No,
okay.
Here.
I'm right here. No, this is like Rafa said, the pod. I'm here. I can hear you guys. I just cut in and out because the Podbean live stream is caca. It's a piece of crap. So I can hear everything. I just but whatever. Gabby, why would you think stuffed animals is gonna be a distraction? Come on now, that's not gonna be a distraction. I think fans calling a player a son of a bitch and like God knows what else is more of a distraction than a stuffed animal sitting there doing nothing.
This is true.
I think that's one thing too that might happen is there might be some guys that do really, really well because there's not a bunch of people watching them. You never know.
Oh, that's true. Also, yeah, like less pressure if you think about it.
I think one of the things also you got to think about too is the pitcher or batter who benefits the most from not having a crowd.
Speaking of hitters, also there will be a universal DH, a universal designated hitter in both leagues.
Thank God.
It's about damn time.
Hit. Yeah, I hate watching pitchers hit.
I don't like to hit, man. So I like every time when I played, the coach asked me, "Do you want to hit?" I'd be like, "No, put somebody else in to hit for me. I'll just continue pitching. Give me a DH. Give me a DH, man. I don't need a hit. It's an ugly sight. It's a very ugly sight." And also another new rule that they're implementing for the 60-game season is when a game goes into extra innings, after 9 innings, game is tied. They put a runner on second base. Yeah, well, thank you, Gabby. I was getting to that. Yeah, there you go. Me and Gabby on the same page. As much as I hate you, man, we're on the same page.
Oh,
and he knows I love him, man. I practically lived at his house the last 2 months.
Nice.
Because he got a new place. So when that friend finally gets his first place, man, you're crashing there constantly.
Oh yeah.
Gotta take advantage of that. But yeah, so they're starting a runner on second base in extra innings.
So it's like little league rules.
Exactly. They're just trying to speed the games up, man.
I don't blame them for that. That's not the worst.
No, I think for this season is a good rule because, like you said, Steven, it's rapid fire, man. So you don't want to risk injury. So and some games can go 16, 17 innings. You got to keep playing until there's a winner. So I feel like it's a good rule. It can make the games quicker, especially in extra innings, and you save a bullpen. Because when games go into extra innings for a long period of time, then you got to get into your starters, and that's where you mess up your rotation and whatnot. So, but I don't
think what places have enough fields to play Major League Baseball. Right?
Arizona and Florida.
Is that the only 2 places they got, really?
Well, like the reason why there's so many parks in Arizona and Florida is because those are the 2 states that host spring training. So. But I don't know what they're gonna do with the minor league teams as well. A lot of teams are cutting minor leaguers. A couple days ago, the Marlins cut 30 minor leaguers from their organization because of not being able to pay them.
Yeah, that's gonna be like the whole situation for all the small clubs are gonna have to do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be an advantage for teams like the Red Sox, Yankees that have some kind of money. They'll be able to at least somehow contractably resolve a money situation and be like, hey, we're going to keep you under contract. We're just not going to be able to pay you full contracts. Like, I think that'll happen for the bigger clubs. But that's the difference in baseball is they don't have that profit sharing. So the big clubs are always going to benefit from the bigger pockets. Sad, but it's true. I think it's part of the reason why the season's taking so long to get agreed upon too.
No, my bad. I was just talking with Kramer there for a bit. He mentioned that the WNBA, they're playing their games at IMG, and
in Florida,
we have to give the WNBA some love as well. We rarely talk about it, but we got to share the love as well, especially in the final episode. So yeah, shout out to the WNBA and Moneyball. It's another great movie. Now we're on that topic, man. Like, so the people listening, share with us your favorite sports movies. We talked about that many moons ago on the Let's Get It show of our favorite sports movies. But yeah, share with us what are some of your favorite sports movies, and we'll talk about it while we continue with the show. And now we're gonna get into some NASCAR, guys. And we recently, though, like in the past 10-15 episodes, we've gotten some NASCAR talk, which is something that we didn't get into a lot when we were in Gainesville. So, but this is a topic that's not really it's about NASCAR, but it goes beyond that. And we're gonna talk about the Bubba Wallace incident that happened a couple of days ago. Bubba Wallace is a NASCAR driver, and he found a noose in his garage. When he showed up to, I forgot where the race was located at, but when he showed up to his garage,
Alabama, baby.
It was in Talladega?
Yes, sir.
All right. So he found a noose in his garage, and when he showed up, and then the FBI came in to investigate the situation, they said that someone planted that I know they said it was there before, and that it's not really a noose, it's like a rope that they use for the garage to pull it down. But dude, I saw the pictures of that. That looks like a straight up noose.
It does.
Yeah, like the way it's tied and everything. So it's just another act of hate, and it was a nice moment to see all the drivers, rally around and push his car to the lead spot. So he starts the race all the way at the front. So it was a nice moment, a great gesture, and it just shows that how people are rallying, for a better cause in sports, outside of sports. We're in a very interesting time right now, and times are changing, my friends, and for the better. I think it's for the better.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, what do you guys think about the Bubba Wallace incident?
So from what I've read, I don't think he himself found it. I think it was a member of his team. And yeah, it ended up being that those kinds of ropes are used as like a pulley system to open doors and shit.
Yeah.
And that the FBI said it had been there since October of last year. And immediately, fucking critics of the movement and stuff like that were like, "Oh, you see, there's nothing wrong, making something out of nothing." But I mean, that's not the lesson to take away. The lesson to take away is that NASCAR, a fucking sport that is perceived to be, I've never seen any NASCAR in my life, but the perception of it is, fucking redneck hillbilly kind of racist, a sport, even though it might not be for the most part. But the fact that they were able to respond in such a positive way, and all the drivers responded in a great way, and they've shown themselves to be a really progressive group during this time, which is a really pleasant surprise. So I mean, and Bubba Wallace himself, he thanked NASCAR for taking it seriously, even though it ended up being nothing. And in the end, it's good that it was nothing.
No, it was good. It was nothing. And also, NASCAR is stepping up their game because they got like I said, times are changing, and they have to get with the times, man. Especially with this incident with Bubba Wallace, and as well as removing the Confederate flag from NASCAR races.
Mm-hmm.
It's about damn time, as LeBron James would say. I get it. People will come up with the not excuse, but their reasoning of what the flag means to them. But dude, come on now. Come on, you can wave it anywhere you want, man. Just don't do it here. That should be respected, man. I'm glad NASCAR is stepping up their game, trying to, I guess, not erase, but try to ease out that image that you mentioned, Rafa, of the redneck sport, the redneck sport, the racists, the people that go there are racist and stuff. Trying to eliminate that image and try to just even out the playing field. Just try to be we're just like everyone else. And that's going to take some time, obviously, because NASCAR is not going to change overnight, especially the fans who go to it. But it's a good first foot in the right direction, man.
I think it's it was very awesome to see all those dudes like just walk them up to the front. And it's kind of sad though that like something like that is just sitting around in a NASCAR garage.
Yeah.
I saw the picture today. Like, I will say, I think that the FBI kind of bagged that one. They might have just taken somebody's word for it that it had been like that the
Yeah,
whole time.
I was gonna get into that too, Steven, because like the FBI did their investigation, and then I think less than 24 hours they concluded the investigation. And I'm
Yeah,
like, wow, and I'm not saying like obviously like I'm not saying that they're not doing their job and they're not doing it properly, but I just feel like kind of weird, kind of weird. But thank God nobody was hurt, and thank God that nothing extreme or serious happened. Like they were able to just you know like move past it and say we investigated, we did what we can do, and we got to continue the races. We got to continue the race, and then the players stepped, not the players, but the racers stepped up and did what they wanted to do. And I think it was a beautiful moment, especially in NASCAR. You don't see that often. You don't see that often in that sport. That type of gesture, that type of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, and I think it's cool because I like NASCAR for the most part, although it can be a little bit boring. It used to be a really, really cool sport. If they did a couple of things, I think that differently, just in the actual races, I think it would be back, but we'll see.
The closest I have gotten to NASCAR is when you go to arcades and they have those racing games, and one of them
Oh
is like the
man.
NASCAR one.
Oh
That's
yeah.
probably one that like I don't because they have like the other racing games, like different brands and stuff. But the NASCAR one was always I think the most badass one because it was like the biggest chair and you're like hunkered down like a driver like in a position that they're like sitting in, and they have like speakers on the side of the chair and you just hear the car. Man, that's as close as I've gotten to NASCAR. Unfortunately, so.
Hey, they make good video games, so
I must admit, okay. I forgot about that part. I back in the day, I forgot for one Christmas, my mom got me for the Xbox 360 a NASCAR game. She's like, "Oh, you never really had a racing game before." I'm like, "For good reason, mom." But that's as close as I've gotten to NASCAR. One Xbox 360 game and then arcade, and going to the arcade. But still, yes, Gonzo. I know. First off, before people if I can get into this, Gabby, he says racing games are awesome. The reason why, because if you want the biggest Fast and Furious fan in the world, that's your man right there. Anything with cars, anything that goes vroom vroom, that's it. Gabby's sold. Gabby's sold. That's it. That's all he needs in his life.
hey, Midnight Club 3 was a great game though.
It was. It was. It was. How about Need for Speed, man?
No, I wasn't a fan.
You were a fan? How about you, Gonzo? Were you a fan? No, no. Okay, 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 okay. My bad, my bad, my bad. I insulted the car master. But yeah, guys, anything else in the sports world for the final time you want to bring up to our lovely audience?
I just
Not really. I just miss college football. That's it.
yeah, I hope we have football. That's all I want is just make sure we have some football because old what is the guy's name? Tony Foch was out there
Oh
saying
God.
we're not gonna have football, and I was like, come on, man, don't say that. At least like let it get to August before you say something like that.
No, Gabby, we're not going to talk about golf. We'll talk about we got into NASCAR already, man. Come
I
on,
know
like.
golf. Come on now.
Well, I'll talk about some golf. If you go on my Instagram, I think it's already taken down. But
Oh,
earlier
that
on my Instagram,
swing. That
my
swing.
that golf swing, man. I
Oh,
got
it's
some
so ugly.
I got some talent. I got some talent on that golf course, man. Ask
Where did
Gabby.
that
Gabby took me to the range.
where did that ball end up when you hit it? It looked like you hit it pretty hard, but it did not look like it was going straight.
No, I sliced it to the right. I sliced it to the right into the
Cranked
parking
it
lot.
though. Yep.
No, I crank every swing, even if I miss it, man. I was sore. I was sore as hell that next day. My back was killing me, man. Well, speaking of golf, Big Daddy's back in the live studio, man. He's been doing a lot of golfing recently as well. Enjoying the quarantine life. That's a sport that you can play because everyone's you're by yourself, and everyone's far as hell from each other. So that's your golf talk for today, Gonzo. You're welcome. But how about you, Raf? Anything on your mind in the sports world?
Not really, other than the fact that I can't believe it took this long for baseball to have an agreement because it's literally the sport, the team sport where, other than soccer, where you really do not touch people that often, other than the people on base, but you're just so spread out that it made so much sense, and it's so ridiculous it took so long for them to figure it out. But
Well, the problem with the I guess with the COVID part of it is not about the touching because, like you said, everyone's pretty spread out in baseball. But in the proposal, it's like 100-page document. They talked about spitting because obviously in baseball, everyone's spitting. Like either with chewing tobacco, they're dipping sunflower seeds, or just straight up spit. So there's like a huge section in that proposal that's like, I think, regulating like where you spit or like in a cup or something, like like it's if you're like in the field by yourself, yeah, you can. And yeah, and Gabby, you're right too. Pitchers are not allowed, because I do this too when I pitch, that you're allowed to lick your fingers for grip, and then you have to wipe it on your uniform. And you're not allowed to do that anymore. You're not allowed to. Yo,
salud.
hey, yo. You're good, baby. You're good, baby. But yeah, you're not allowed to lick the ball anymore. Corona.
I mean,
be careful, everybody.
It's out there.
But so now they would have like a moist towel, like on the mound. Oh no, every pitcher carries like a towel, like a wet towel in their back pocket, something like that, and that's what you touch. You lick the ball. You can't lick the fingers and touch the ball and stuff like that. So and that makes sense though, because when you touch the ball, then a player hits it, and then the fielder gets a ground ball. They're gonna have to, touch that ball as well. So it's just they're just trying to play it as safe as possible. And Gabby, yeah, the rosin bag I think is still gonna be there. A rosin bag is like that large, like I guess sack looking thing that's full of like powder. It's just to like stop players' arms and like hands from sweating and like dry their hands up and stuff. But yeah, I think that's still gonna be there. But yeah,
they're gonna let you put like some Vaseline on the ball and your little rag out there. There's gonna be guys.
Vaseline's illegal straight up. That's illegal. That was illegal before COVID.
They're gonna get away with it now because they're gonna put some stuff on it. You watch. There's gonna be some joke balls coming.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Gabby, it's illegal, man. I've tried telling him, Gabby. He's not listening to me. Vaseline's the future.
I know it's illegal. They got what is it? Fernando Pineda.
Yeah.
From
the Yankees. He had pine tar on his neck.
That's what he's
he tried because he's dark skinned, so like he had pine tar on his neck trying to blend it in with the skin.
You can totally see it though.
You can totally see it though, man.
I had standard def TV. I could see that shit. I was like, "What the hell is on that man's neck?" And sure enough, no, wouldn't put it past the Yankees though.
No, of course not. But guys, I hate to do this, but it's time for closing remarks here on the Let's Get It show. And, obviously during this part of the show, we give our final thoughts and statements. So these are the final thoughts and statements of the Let's Get It show. Who wants to set the table? Who wants to lead it off here, boys?
Oof. Let's go with Steven. I nominate Steven.
Oh, man. Well,
you usually go first.
I will say it's been a hell of a ride. I was hanging on by every thread in piece I could. It was a great journey for sure. My mom asked me earlier, what else I'm going to do for podcasts, and I said, I don't know if I want to keep doing a podcast because it's a lot of work, but we'll see how much I miss it. But I definitely had a good time on the Let's Get It show, and I just want you to remind everybody to get it every single day in every which way.
Keep it 100 every day.
I like those last few words. I'll go next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'll just say, Steven, sometimes you got to let something go, and if it comes back, it means it was meant to. It was meant to come back to you. So we'll see what happens. But
it has not worked out for me yet.
God's plan.
Whew. We got a little dark there, but anyway, man, my final thoughts are, man, we started this on a whim, man, and look what happened. So, like, I remember the first time we were all talking, and we were like, "Yo, we should start a podcast or whatever," and I was like, "Oh yeah, fun, that's funny," and then I never actually thought that it would actually, happen the way it did, and that we got lucky in a lot of ways with with getting a good group of guys together,
Yeah.
and we had a good studio and stuff like that. We got to do 20, and people liked the show and everything, and yeah, I guess my final thought is take a chance. You never know what'll stick, and this was a hell of a time, and I'll remember these 52 episodes very fondly for all the crazy, stupid shit we got to do, like make themes, make music videos for basketball, and
Oh God. Hmm.
and yeah, man, just a hell of a time. But
And yeah, my final thoughts for the Let's Get It show is thank you, just thanking everybody. Thank you everybody for tuning in today and the last 51 episodes, listening and just enjoying it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We couldn't have done it without you guys. It's been an amazing year and a half, an incredible run, and doing it with two of my closest friends. I couldn't ask for a better time than just doing a show, and like on a whim as well. It was on a whim, and look what happened. Look what happened. An amazing podcast, 52 episodes. It's been a hell of a ride, and you know what? We might not be going nowhere. Who knows? Who knows? The return could be possible, but I'm gonna leave it like a Marvel movie. Who knows what can happen? That was the end. That was that thing after the end credits of a Marvel movie. A little teaser at the end. Who knows what the future holds for the three of us and in the podcast community? And I'm just gonna leave it like that. Gentlemen, it's time to count down for one more time. Are you guys ready? And everyone listening, join in as well. We're gonna say let's get it at the end of the countdown. All right? 3, 2, 1. Let's get it! Woo! All right, everybody, take it easy. The Let's Get It show is out. Peace.